Hi everyone, my name is Ladi Soul. I am a poet, an artist. I also like to direct and edit videos.
Hey y'all, I'm Inara. I love writing and drawing and just doing anything that fuels my creativity.
Today we're going to answer some questions that EBDL sent over to us. These questions are very personal, so we're going to try our best to be just very honest about our responses, and also, hopefully you all find some value in what we have to say. So the first question.
I've been dating Michaela for 6 years, and my cousin recently found out that Michaela was born a man. I've always known this, but didn't think it was necessary to tell anyone. This is my love, not theirs. Now I have to tell my parents before my cousin does. I don't know where to start. Any advice?
Okay, well, Manuel, I think the first thing that you should do is make sure that you are using the proper terms. So if your partner is transgender, we want to make sure that we're using the proper terms, right? So she was not born a man, she was born with male genitalia, but she was always a woman. She's always been a woman, right? Her story could be a little bit different. I don't know Michaela all that well, but if Michaela has always felt like deep down that she is a woman, then she has always been one. So it's important to make sure that we're using that type of terminology when we're talking about Michaela. And then the other thing is also making sure that Michaela knows that she is supported by you. Like, it doesn't matter what your family ends up thinking about it, about her history, or what your cousin thinks. I understand that it sounds like you're very supportive, so you just gotta let Michaela know that regardless of what they think or say about it, that you have her back 100%, because this is probably not the first time that this has been an issue or something that's just weird to talk about or difficult to talk about. So first, use the right terminology, and second, make sure that you are supporting Michaela in every way.
Do you think it's a conversation that they need to have with their partner before confronting their parents?
Yeah, I think you should let. I mean, it's difficult because Michaela, this is something difficult for her to possibly also talk about or find out. Like, this is an anxiety or something that she has probably been dealing with a lot. So we do have to take that into consideration, right? Like, this could be, you're not the first person or the first time that this happens, or this could be an insecurity too of like, how am I going to be in a relationship, and how is like my partner's family gonna feel, or am I gonna be part of a family? Am I gonna find a family that's gonna accept me for who I am fully? So I think just having that conversation with Michaela to understand where her mindset is, what her experiences have been, and yeah, just really getting to understand her a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. So our next question is, my partner and I recently went back to school for our 5-year-old. There were a few other families there who saw us all together. No one said anything to us directly, but the other kids started teasing and asking our child where his daddy was and why he has 2 moms. He personally has never expressed any issue with our lifestyle. I think the kids teasing is bothering him. What would you do?
In general, it's important to have those conversations with your child and prep them for what they're going to experience. Clearly, they're already experiencing it, but bullying happens, teasing happens, and in the society that we live in, and just in general in any society, there are norms that are accepted, and they don't have to be accepted as in like we all want to obey them and agree to them, but children pick up on specific things, right? So these children that they're hanging out with or being exposed to have picked up on the norm that normally a family is a woman and a man, right? So they have these ideas, but it's important for you to also let your child know, like, this is the idea that a lot of people have, the same idea where racism exists, the same idea where, you know, class issues exist. Like, all these different things are part of this society. That doesn't mean that they're right. That doesn't mean that you know, you are any less valuable, or anybody in the society is any less valuable. But this is your opportunity to talk to your kid, talk to them about what they're going to encounter in life, not just about this situation, but everything they're going to encounter when it comes to people bullying them, and build them up, build up their confidence. You know, they're going to be bullied about other things. So you just got to toughen up your kid, tell them or show them how to speak back, show them how to stand up for themselves and stand up for what they believe.
I think it's also important to make sure that the child feels like he can come to us about the teasing rather than hiding it. And I think it's important to kind of make sure that your child feels comfortable in the space at home to express that. I also think I would attempt to go talk to the other families and be like, do you understand what your child is saying to my child? You know, this is, 2020. Why are kids still thinking that that's the norm? And it's also on them to also start the conversation with their child, to let them know there are different families out there.
Yeah. Another thing is also, what is the school doing about it, right? That's a huge thing, especially with bullying in general. What is the school doing? What are they committed to doing? Are they talking to the children about different types of families or different types of people? Because if this child, if anything ends up happening to them, the school is liable, because you've been leaving your child with the school the whole time. So I would also have the conversation with administration. This is a situation where you know,
definitely,
you got to go and be an advocate for yourself. Next question.
A friend of mine has been asking to go to Pride March for years. I have always had other plans, but this year she has put more pressure on me. She is telling me she needs me with her for support. I don't know why I haven't gone this far, but something is holding me back. What should I do?
Well, Joanna, I think my answer really depends on if you're part of the community or not. If you are part of it, so if you are in the spectrum, then I would say just go to Pride. Do it. Experience it. Pride has changed a lot in the past years. It's become very commercial, corporate, because people have taken over it. Like, all of a sudden, these companies that don't hire really diverse people are all about Pride because they wear rainbow flags or sell things that are rainbow and at a higher price than anything else. And I don't agree with that. But you should just go to a Pride that is a little bit more community based, if you are going to go to one where it's smaller, where you actually are there to meet more people that are like you. If you are not in the community, I think you should be very straight up with your friend about why you don't want to go or why you don't feel comfortable going. But it's not about your feelings. You are the straight person in this situation, if you are straight. And you are in the dominant position, which means that right now your friend needs to be centered. If your friend wants you to go and really wants you to go and needs you to be an ally and support your friend, then you should support your friend. But if you attend Pride, make sure that you are not taking up space that somebody else should be taking up. Like, you can't be out there like this is your party, because this is a place where queer people really need to be centered, and this is like
it's their party.
It's our party.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when straight people go to Pride, or even, when I was out trying to pick up on girls, all the girls that were going out to WeHo were there with their best friends. And so imagine, I'm trying to not go to I'm trying to go to a gay place to meet women, but all of them are straight. So then what's the difference between me going to like any other place, right? So we have to be conscious of that a lot of the times we are seeking a place where there are a lot of people like us, where we can feel completely comfortable. So just make sure that if you do go and you're straight, that you are making sure that everybody else that is queer is taking up space and you're stepping back.
Yeah. I agree. Know your intentions for going.
Yes.
Yeah. Next question. I made a friend in the gaming community. We have gamed together for 3 years and have built a friendship. I think she is starting to crush on me and I need to tell her I am gay. It's not like I was keeping it from her, it just never came up. How do I tell her now? So I guess this question is from a male, Alex.
I don't know, Alex. I would just mention that I'm into men. I think I would just casually mention it.
Or casually say, like, I don't know, a celebrity crush or something like that. You know, just little hints here and there. I think she'll pick up on it. I think girls pick up on hints very well.
But I think if you're friends, you should be comfortable enough to say, this is who I am. And she's not going to get her feelings hurt.
Yeah.
And if she does, then she's trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest.
I work for an accounting firm. Recently, a new hire came in and has made it very clear that they are into same-sex relationships. I don't have a problem with that at all, but there has been inappropriate office chatter about the new employee and their life choices. I find it very offensive. How do I approach this situation? It needs to stop.
Life choices, huh? Okay, so I would so if I were you, I would find out about my organization's values in general. So if you are a nonprofit or a specific corporation, whatever, like there are a set of values that everybody agreed to when they started working there. So you always refer people back to the values. Like, you know what, Henry, what you said, it just doesn't reflect the values that we have here. You know, I came here because I thought that we were going to be an open and safe environment. And the comment that you just made is making me feel like you're a little judgmental of our coworker. And that's not the type of environment that we want to have here, right? Like, did I understand that what you meant to say was, and then tell them, like, this is what I interpreted from what you said. Is that what you meant to say? And oftentimes people will then step back and maybe deny that that's what they meant, but you got to say, well, but Henry, the way you said it, actually, that's what I interpreted, and that's what other people might be interpreting. So if you don't want to send that message, which you're telling me you don't want to, then I would consider rephrasing what I said. And maybe next time, not even say that at all.
I think another thing, though, after having that conversation is to kind of follow it up or document it in like an email of some sort, especially in a professional environment. Because if it continues to be a problem, you can eventually then go to your HR and be like, you know, I've discussed how this makes me uncomfortable with my coworker and it still persists. Mm-hmm. And that way you have kind of the read receipts, essentially, of the conversations that you've had with your coworkers. So that would be, I think, that's a good way to approach it. Yeah.
I think you should definitely put things in writing, or even if this continues even after that initial conversation, email that person and say, hey, I spoke to you the other day about this, and I just want to make it very clear that it makes me extremely uncomfortable, and this behavior needs to change. And if I don't really see a change, I feel that there needs to be some other action that's taken, and I am planning on going and talking to someone higher up. And if your higher ups are the ones that are also having these conversations, don't be afraid to hold your higher ups accountable either, because they're responsible for fostering a safe environment. And if they are not doing that, then you need to speak up. Like, this is your time to speak up and say, these behaviors make me uncomfortable. And that you also need to document. And then if they still don't make a change, then you take it to HR.
And I think in a lot of corporate policy, what is happening is considered sexual harassment. And that's falls under the definition of that. And that's something that's incredibly serious if they continue to talk about the life choices of your coworker.
Yeah. Or if they sexualize your coworker in any way, like if she's a good-looking lesbian and they keep talking about that, that's sexual harassment. Or that's also, they're just fostering an unsafe environment. So you got to point that out.
Yeah. Hey, EBDL family. My name is Charlie. As you know, June is Pride Month. For a while now, I've been tempted to kiss someone of the same gender, but I haven't considered myself anything other than straight. Labels are very confusing to me and seem unnecessary. Just because I have a temptation towards someone of the same gender, it doesn't mean anything. I am just somebody who wants to kiss another person. Any tips on how to go about the situation? I don't like that this is even a stressor.
Well, Charlie, just kiss whoever the hell you want, whenever you want, however you want, with consent.
With consent. I think when I first kind of started feeling comfortable with coming out, that was sort of a question that I had. And I think for me, how I started doing that is I just kind of started talking to people of the same sex or other women, I guess, on dating apps. And that kind of got me comfortable with the next step of going on a date and eventually, having more intimacy. And that was kind of how I approached it. Just going out there and meeting people that you may want to kiss. So, yeah.
Definitely.
Happy Monday, EBDL family. I love Pride Month. So much love and joy are shown in the month of June. I want to spread love and let my followers know that I am an ally, and I want them to feel acknowledged and proud about their sexuality. I'm not sure how to go on about spreading the love on my page, considering that my page is focused on cooking. Any ideas how I can share love through my page? I think maybe one way of doing it, if your page is centered around cooking, is maybe invite other queer Instagrammers to be featured on your page or talk about a meal they love and have them make it, just featuring these queer people in spaces they may not always be seen. And I think that's one way you can do that on your page.
Yeah. I'm wondering if on your cooking page, if you talk about anything else other than cooking, or if it's completely about cooking, because oftentimes your following are going to want to know more about you and more about who you are and what you stand for. And being silent about these things just kind of, make people not really sure about where you stand. And for some of those people that are following you that are looking for support everywhere and need support, this is your opportunity to stand with them and let them know that you support them. So make a random post about, a pie that you made or whatever, and add whatever caption you want and be very explicit about how you support and why you support. And yeah, invite queer people onto your channel, center their voices, center their opinions, and really, I think, spread their content. If you see other people that are content creators that maybe some of your followers might like.
But maybe while the feed is full of cooking stuff, the story is another, your Instagram story is another place that you can also show support, and continually show support, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you got to let people know where you stand.
EBDL TV. I'm struggling with my family. I recently announced that I am gay. Though I am happy about my announcement, I still feel some insecurities. My family said they support me, but the conversation is still not being talked about. It just feels shut out. This is making me uncomfortable and worried. I'm not sure if I should overthink the situation or if I should let it go. Any tips?
Well, when I came out to my family, I think it's always going to be a process that takes time for people to get used to and to talk about. I'm not sure what your cultural background is, but different communities react different ways. But I think what has been effective in general is just standing your ground. And what some families or some parents tend to do is try to make you feel uncomfortable, argue with you about it all day long, pressure you to leave your partner. There are different tactics that they'll use to try to push you and see if you're actually serious. So you just have to stand your ground, and it's gonna hurt, but try to find a support system that's gonna support you and love you and be there for you when you need. Finding some good friends, or if you already have those friends that are supporting you, rely on them, surround yourself by them, and try not to let what your family says or what they do about it affect you. But you got to be straight up also. Like, look, this is what I am, this is what I'm doing. If you don't support me, or you don't support me bringing my partner around or whatever, well, then I'm not going to be around as much. So what is it? What do you want? Right? Or just be straight up. Like, I don't feel comfortable coming over anymore. Or when I do, you guys don't talk about it. You act like it doesn't exist. That makes me feel like, and insert how it makes you feel. And then say, and you know what, when I feel this way, these are the types of responses that I tend to give, which means, I actually don't want to be around here. So either this changes, or for a while I'm just going to need to not be around as often.
Yeah, I think when I came out, I came out much later in life, in my late 20s, and telling my parents was a very rough experience. I come from a very traditional Middle Eastern background, and my parents did not take my coming out very well. And as someone who was very close to my family, it hit me very hard, and I thought about that all the time. Am I overthinking this? Should I care this much that I'm a disappointment? And those, there were a lot of harsh words that came out, and it was something that really hit me deep down. But kind of like Ladi said, with time, it just gets a little better. But there are some every parent will take it differently, and one of mine just kind of shut it out, doesn't bring it up, or the other tries. But sometimes it does feel a little strained, but I'm kind of in that place where I'm hoping time will continue to make it better. So just be patient. I admit I was a little impatient. I'm like, why isn't the acceptance happening? But just be patient. And whatever course it will take, it will take. And in the end, this is who you are, and this is who you want to be. And if they don't want to get in line with that, then they're missing out on the great person that you get to be, with or without them. So Just remember that.
And that concludes the questions. So thank you all. I hope that these answers bring you some answers. If they bring you more questions, then I don't know how to help
you. You can reach out to us if you do have more questions.
Yes. You can find me at ladi.soul, which is ladi.soul on Instagram.
You can find me at Misha Laka Laka. Yeah. We also make funny videos about our lives and being queer people in this world. So,
yep. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride.